Welcome to Season 5 of SkillCast, the podcast by the London Organisation of Skills Development. I'm Nurbanu, I'm your host, and this season is a little different. We're coming to you from a beautiful castle retreat, surrounded by nature, calm, and creativity. This isn't just another season, it's an experience. You'll be hearing directly from our retreat speakers, leaders, change makers, and visionaries, sharing powerful insights in an intimate setting. These conversations go beyond skills. They're about purpose, healing, growth, and what it really means to thrive. So whether you're joining us with a cup of tea or just need a moment to reset, Season 5 is here to inspire. Let's begin. Welcome to SkillCast. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah.
Are you always feeling great, or is today just a special day?
No, I'm kind of always feeling great, even when I may not be feeling. I will change the feeling because it's the feeling that creates your reality. So I have to obviously be conscious. If you're not feeling great, then you have to change your dialogue to feel great.
I love that. It's very optimistic and very positive. How do you cultivate that mindset?
I think it's through the trials and tribulations of life that I'm fortunate through those painful experiences have a different outlook on life and situation and circumstances. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So I think we've been conditioned, if something's uncomfortable and presenting uncomfortable feelings and emotions, that it's bad, but then it's not. It's an indicator to have a little assessment of why you're feeling what you're feeling and what's to learn through that experience.
Have you always been this way, or did something happen in your life? What was that? What was that point in your life that you realized this isn't it?
Yeah. So no, I haven't always been that way. Before, I was running from my unconscious, subconscious program, and that's all I knew. I didn't know that I was the observer as well as the participator, but observing the dialogue, thoughts, feelings, emotions, belief systems, being the observer to then shift the internal, because it's the internal that creates your external rather than the other way around. We're not victims of our circumstances, situation, and events. We're the creators of them. So beforehand, I thought I was the victim of circumstances until I became conscious to know that we are creators.
So at what point in your life, what was it? How did that happen?
Yeah. So it was suffering, pain and suffering through becoming a character, through my ego and circumstances, my environment, my childhood, me adopting certain behaviors and characteristics that wasn't me, because as you do, you become the environment or the company you keep. So through the suffering of that character that I had become that wasn't me, the crack of that and me actually suffering through that character, and then through the pain, through the misery, that character broke, dark night of the soul. So as that character shattered, I was only left with my true authentic self, and then I rebuilt a new character, and here I am today, Dwayne Nathan Jack. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you, nice.
I love that. Wow. So what was it? Was it a person in your life that inspired you, or who was it that inspired you to make that click, make that change?
Yeah, I don't think it was anything external to me, because everything that I was identified in my previous life was a negative influence, including parenting and people that you gravitate to. They were negative influences. I wanted to become them. I became them, and realized once sitting in a prison cell that wasn't what I wanted. So it was through the suffering. It wasn't from anybody external to me. It was through the suffering and the pain and that enabled me to actually realize that what I was seeking and searching for through a validation and belonging, acceptance, it wasn't fulfilling that void within. So I realized what I was looking for out externally wasn't there, as internally. And then that's when I discovered myself.
did you find that you lost a lot of friendships and people that you felt that were your best friends or very close to your heart were no longer part of that new you?
Yeah, totally. It was a whole paradigm shift as well as an identity upgrade. So the old was gone and the new was here, and part of that was letting go so that I could grow and glow. So letting go of the identification, thinking that people were my friends, associates, A, B, and C. So there was a lot of sacrificing that had to take place for me to be able to get where I am today. And don't get me wrong, there was people that I thought I could hang on to or try and serve or try and help to bring over to this world of consciousness. However, it didn't work, because you can give someone the world and present them and give them opportunity, but if they're not ready for that opportunity or that world, they would just sabotage it. So then after a while I thought, I'm not even gonna go there, because it would only be turned around for the harm rather than the good. So it's yeah, I had to let a lot go. I call it PPE: people, places, and environments.
So tell me more about your story. Like you mentioned about prison cell and
Yeah.
what happened, if you don't mind
Yeah, yeah.
sharing, and because your story might actually inspire someone
Yeah.
to know where you came from.
Of course. So my previous life, I grew up on a council estate, single parent family, witnessing domestic violence. By the time I was, no, say 7, 8 years old, my mum would call social services. I'd be in the care of local authority, from foster care to children's homes. And then at the age of 13, I got my first DTO, detention and training order, prison for children. From 13 to 29 years old, I was in and out of prison. I've been stabbed, shot, chopped in the head with a machete, told that I'd never walk again. I had a fractured skull, bleeding to the brain, and they said that I'm going to be paralyzed from the neck down. And I was in and out of prison for almost 17 years. And then I had a spiritual awakening in my prison cell in 2012. And I had a spiritual identity upgrade, and I've never looked back. I went back to prison 2 years later, but with keys, and got contracts with Ministry of Justice. And then from the children's home to secure units to the prisons to the local authorities, the council, social services, I went back through the system as a professional and an entrepreneur and a business owner.
Wow, that's amazing. It feels like there's something divinely, like I don't know, something magic or something that's happened
Yes.
within you. Like, wow, that's super powerful. Do you believe in like all of these energy blockage clearing and all of that stuff? Or do you just believe it's just a mindset thing?
No, definitely there was a spiritual, energetical experience that I had through my suffering that I'm fortunate. Did I consciously make this happen? No, there was something universal, whether divine, God, whatever you want to call it. There was an experience that happened that enabled me to become conscious. And yeah, there was foundation of obviously religion. Christianity had an impact on that. However, I'm not religious. I have a relationship now with myself, and I'm an expression of consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And that's enabled me to be conscious of my energy and minimize risk of putting my energy in places that's not serving me or serving others, and being able to consciously live with diet, with the company you keep, your environments, so that you're utilizing your energy strategically so that you can create the reality that you want to experience and meet destiny. So with regards to energy, yes, I've become very conscious of my energy and conscious of other people's energy and how that can affect me and how I can affect them and impact them. Because the more conscious you become of that, the more you're able to strategically minimize risk and gravitate to your destiny. And I think it's a lifestyle. It's not even a meditation visualization. It's a continuous relationship with self, and this enables you to create the reality you want because you're on a high frequency, because you're safeguarding your energy. The lower the dense, the more life will work against you. The higher the frequency, the more life will work for you and through you. So
that's so powerful because of that energy, because of that aura and that positive energy. That's what you attract in your life.
yes.
Do you find a life partner with the same mindset is important, or can you be with someone who completely doesn't agree with you?
That's a double-edged sword, because you can have a partner that doesn't agree, and it's like oil and water, isn't it? Oil and water doesn't mix, and then you've got light and dark, or consciousness and unconsciousness. So then there is teaching within there. But it's, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You could be in a relationship, it could be tough, and through that toughness, because the person may not be evolved as much as you, then you're going to have to become more resilient. You're going to have to become more compassionate. You're going to have to become more of just being and letting things go, because it's like having a baby. The baby's putting crayon on the wall and on his face. Are you going to go, "Oh"? You're just going to have that compassion and smile. And it's that within a relationship. But however, whether the person's seeking to evolve or is totally unconscious and operating from that trauma. So it's a very complex question and answer, because it depends on the specific person or relationship. I would say whether that, because you have to be working in coherence for the greater good, because it's like someone that's completely doing the opposite of what you're doing. Yeah, they say opposites attract, but then if those opposites are still consciously trying to aim for the same objective, but there is faults and there is growing, then it's a collaboration of growth, isn't it?
That's very true.
So it all depends.
I can't help notice that you've got quite a lot of tattoos
Yeah.
around your body.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk me through these tattoos and the significance? Because I'm assuming they probably reveal something quite divine, because I can see the number 7, and I think 7 is associated with spirituality. And then I can see an I there, and then there's an I am, and I know that's the name of your program, but there's also detail I can't see right now, but I can see your hand, I can see your neck. So I'd love to know the story, because I know each tattoo has a story. So
of course.
Talk me through those.
So I've got a tattoo here. There's a cross, a cross like a Christian cross there with a D in. At the time, I didn't know the D is probably me. Yeah, the old me. Yeah, because it's like a gravestone kind of cross there. But and then it obviously says bless underneath, and then there's fire around it. So I'd assume that was the fire of protection, A, B, and C. Over here, you've got truth with a 7. That's my artist name, Truth, because I'm an artist. Well, we're all artists in different ways and forms, aren't we? Artists of life. So that's Truth on there. And then I've got my brother's a Mike there. My brother was a soul singer, Daniel. He passed away, rest in peace. And then I've got God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, the wisdom to know the difference there. Then I have Road Light, my company, in Paralyzed Positive Change there. And a few, I think, love, hope, and faith there. And then I've got the wings here, and then a heart representing love. And there's like rays coming off of the heart, because that's the representative of all there is and all there is yet to come. And then I've got the eye, and then the man in the middle is the I am that I am. The I am is the representative. I am Dwayne Nathan Jack, educator of human potential, mastermind, mentor, motivational speaker, educator in human potential. I am powerful. I am unique. I am the I am that I am, that everyone is the I, and the expression of the I. So that's my my brand, my signature program, the I am way. And then you've got the 7. I've had a lot of spiritual synchronicities with the number 7, where I shared in the workshop earlier on with the 7 spiritual laws of superhero, Deepak Chopra, how the book come to me. And then a few visions that I had, and then they come true. So the number 7 has been something, of completion and of that spiritual thing. So yeah.
Wow, so intriguing. And I find your story so fascinating that you've come such a long way. And I think you putting the tattoos is a good way of documenting it down as well. So it kind of like engrosses within you. Like it's like recall of your memory.
Yes, of
And
course.
somehow, like maybe somewhere in your past life, it's kind of like calling you, say, this is who I was.
Yes.
What I had to experience in my early part of my life was just part of the journey to find who I am.
Yeah,
Which,
totally.
so it's powerful.
100%.
So now that you're such a powerful being, tell me about upbringing of children. What is your take on, as parents, being evolved? Do you think having children at a young age is okay, or should someone be evolved later in life before having children, bringing children in the world? Tell me, what is your views and perspective on that?
It should be a conscious decision from two conscious beings to make a decision to have a child to come into this world, because it's a full-time, you're bringing in a being, and if you're not equipped and conscious, then you're going to cause trauma within that child. That child is then going to become a problem to their self and society, depending on how deep the trauma. The deeper the trauma, the more of a problem. That's why I was such a problem within society. However, that deeper the trauma was enabled me from that dark night of the soul to get to the light. But I believe the way it is in the world, there needs to be some kind of like application for I know it's kind of extreme, but you have to be extreme to obviously for systematic change, positive change, because obviously people are having children, and when I see children having children and people having children, and I can see psychologically, I look at the baby and see the trauma, and it kind of wounds me, because I see myself and my mum and stuff as a child. So when I'm looking, I'm seeing future generations of trauma, and the thing that I've managed to obviously evolve
break
out
that generation.
Yes. So I think there's a lot of education needs to come to not just government, but parents within the education, the curriculum, to enable, to bring awareness and to prevent future generations of destruction. Yeah.
Wow, so powerful and so intriguing. Well, thank you so much for joining me. If people want to learn more about you, and just because you radiate so much love and so much positivity, and such a perfect person who's been through so much and being able to cultivate your kind of mindset, what's the quickest and easiest way to reach out to you?
So that's www.dwaynenathanjack.com. Instagram, Dwayne Nathan Jack. Yeah, Dwayne Nathan Jack, really. Google Dwayne Nathan Jack.
I love it. It rhymes as well, Dwayne Nathan Jack. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.